Okay, I may need to put my computer on.
Okay, ready?
Yeah,
What?
this is actually a poem written by my friend, Christy Lynn Ballooney, who's a brilliant writer in San Francisco, and we worked together about 20 years ago.
Okay, so let's bring on Louisa Ash, reading her friend's poem.
Yeah,
You have to come up here.
it's possible I'll get into a kind of state where I can read something I actually wrote later in the evening.
Later
We'll
on,
see.
you'll come later on. Good,
Maybe,
good.
maybe, that's a maybe.
After the rest of us make fools of ourselves.
Well, we'll see. I repeat, this is a maybe. Okay, so from Christy Lynn Ballooney wrote a holiday poem. Here's to the runaways, the high for days, the definitely not home for the holidays. Here's to adventure, grit, exploration, to hiding alone during Christmas vacation, to the drunks and the junkies on holiday benders, to tradition breakers and no-card senders, to Christmas lights on LSD, to never putting up a tree, to Scrooges, Grinches, trolls and witches, to atheists and straight-up bitches, to the knocked-up teenage Mary Sues, to Kwanzaa, to solstice, to Muslims and Jews. Blessed be the dirty Santas, drag Santas, gay ones. Blessed be the naughty kids, trans kids, and stray ones. Blessed be the jaded retail sellers, the gift returners, the quick Christmas past dwellers. Blessed be the Santa hat, jingle bell strippers. Blessed be the Salvation Army jar dippers. Blessed be the holiday office bash crashers, the no-shows, the no-gifts, the punch bowl smashers. Blessed be the front yard nativity wreckers, the desperate and horny, no mistletoe neckers. Blessed be the persistent patriarchy survivors, the godless, the sinners, the Christian helldivers. To every woman who's wanted to strangle in the snow some guy in the street yelling, ho, ho, ho. To all of us comfortable here in the dark, may our humor protect us, may our fierce fires spark all the goodwill expected at the season's climax, by whatever means necessary, drugs, sex, show tunes, or snacks. And every wish for peace that the world dreams tonight, because Christmas is nothing, because we are the light.
Let me introduce you. I have to introduce everybody. My exercise for the day. So, next we have Ellen Richter, who will be reading her own work. What's the name of it?
It's a poem called Online Dating.
And you're going to read it nice and slowly so we
I
can
promise Minerva
savor
to read
it.
slowly. I will savor
Slowly,
it.
so we can savor
Yeah, by way
online
of
dating.
introduction, 5 years ago I wrote a poem called Computer Social Intercourse about my first experience, and I thought my last experience with online dating. And it was published in Brooklyn Quarterly. It was humorous, and they liked it so much they archived it 2 years later. Well, this poem is about my second go-round because, unbeknownst to me, my daughter, who's in her 30s, signed me up and facetiously said, "Let's find mommy a new daddy." Facetiously, okay? Okay, and this is called Online Dating.
Sit down,
Let me just get my cursor. Am I in the right spot?
Sit down.
Sit down, okay. Well, then I won't project as well, okay. Online dating. My daughter didn't ask, paid, ponied up, a year's worth, no chump change, so I play by the rules, give my real age, give or take 5, which was my last, and I thought final time on, a fail. I curate myself, my main pick, professional hairdo, makeup, the best I'll ever look in mother of the groom dress, clingy but appropriate, clean lines, unadorned. If bones could proclaim, mine would surely say, behold this aesthetically unenhanced, no bauble here gem. I parry, how was your weekend? I get no thrusts. I try, we have a lot in common, although we both know we don't. Respond to what they say is their last book read, which is always non-recent, self-help pap, or non-literary fiction. The app tells whose path I cross, which should creep me out, but doesn't. The app sends daily pics, like auto lotto, sends adrenaline rush, like take a number at the appetizer counter, but all are lose your lunch unappetizing. Worse, the app's pics are all, to a man, dead ringers for my still alive ex, causing me to swipe madly. left, left, left. Desperate, I formulate pithy notes. Send one to a man whose face, pressed against his dog's, looks like a genetically enhanced Cerberus minus one face. He doesn't respond. This depresses. Try changing my screen name, previously Natural Woman, which arguably I never was, to Smiling, which I no longer am. Consider finely honed and ironic as a name, or dour but not sour. Ponder the correct pronunciation of dour. Engage in more manic, left swipes, more index finger flicks. I know what I'd like to do but don't. Post my photo, torso forward, Kuros pose, classical, sculptural. A visual nod to the past that shouts, I'm cultured. Except for my iffy off-kilter lunge. Pervs need not apply, thank you very much. Lower my already low standards. I consider men in boats, though I'm allergic to the sun. Reject Speedo-wearing shirtless men who'd be better off shirt with. And to the man who writes, please feel free to laugh, thank you. And to the man who writes, you look like you work out, I refrain from responding, clearly you don't. Desperate, I write to ranters, including Mr. I don't like women who play games, to whom I want to ask, like Monopoly? I ignore the hordes of men who profess to like jazz. I do too. But a small distinction. I want a man who riffs, preferably on me. Cast my geographic net wider. Finally, responses from sounds bogus places or Stephen King novel. One New Jersey Biller Bob pens nothing personal, but there's a bridge between us. Yeah, I get it, a bridge too far. This fragile of ego I consider the virtual equivalent of, pardon my French, a pity fuck. Still, I have my standards. I delete men who don't know the difference between it's and apostrophe ITS. I swipe left men whose flash bounces off mirrors. Don't they know someone who can take their pick? No grown niece or nephew? Walgreens passport photo clerk? Or have they ever considered there's a one-letter difference between the words loner and loser? I quick swipe left to men who look as if they serve time, and double quick, the man who gushes he knows his soulmate will be, quote, someone who likes to eat at midnight. Shall I suggest a screen name change to, Adventures in Diabetes? Swipe left to men who only read professional journals. But, then again, I get it, you're tray focused and successful and possibly retired on a happily high fixed income and will likely pick up the tab, unlike the man who didn't, who I honestly thought I was meeting for coffee and not the 5-course French bistro lunch, who recounted his full relationships and photography business history in sleep-inducing detail. Can I lie and say I'm active? Because he says he's active. Shall I say I have mild body dysmorphia? Can I say I look young from the shoulder blades down? Or that I get a rise from, no, not that, writing poetry? Can I say that there's facial hair and there's Unabomber facial hair? Or can I be kinder and say, let me introduce you to my friend, the comb? And as to the man who made it to telephone discourse, but that's where it ended, I'm glad my iPhone battery died, relieving me of the near moral obligation of saying, I don't know what the fuck you mean when you ask, tell me your philosophy on kissing. I still got it like this is hard, but I got more left.
Okay, you wanna go get something to drink now?